All right, guys. I'm sure everybody knows how to identify accumulation and distribution patterns, especially after they've already formed. But how do you identify them while they're forming, or even better, before they form? Where to expect them to potentially form, or where areas that they typically form? Um, well, that's a really good question, and generally, what you see is when price moves in somewhat of a counter trend fashion, you'll see. Price enter distribution patterns on the lower time frames when it breaches old significant highs. So we have this high here, but first off, we'll just start looking at this high here. So price runs up above that high. Then we're going down to the lower time frames. And yeah, you can see price runs impulsively up above this high. And then it enters a distribution pattern. Very briefly, right? We actually need to go down to probably a 15-minute to see it. Just do that. Let's go to 15-minute real quick. Yeah, and you can see. So here is the impulsive move up above the historic highs to liquidate people and take their stops, and then that's typically where you can expect a distribution pattern to form. Again, it's not a guarantee, but it's the typical area where they do form. And yeah, you do see the three drives, right? One, you get your spike here, another spike above, another one crashes down below the lows. Ultimately, that high is never reclaimed. Let's go down to a daily. Check this out. All right, let's see. So you have this area right here. All right, so you have this narrowing range, and then these highs are broken, and then ultimately you get a run up above this high right here. Again, it's hard to see, but we'll see it better on the hourly chart. Yeah, here we go. So again, we're in the context of the macro is breaking down and selling off due to interest rates. So you see price run above that historic high and not really even enter a distribution pattern, just distribute immediately. Right. So you get this. So low time frames turn around, and there's a lot of tradable levels up into that level. This is actually a level I traded. So trade long here, take profit up here. And you can see as it run up, it also ran up above the old historic level marked off here, and also an intermediate area. And this is a really good measure of confluence whenever you see this, right? Whenever you have a historical level on the left side of your chart lining up with a liquidity run on the right side of your chart, that's a lot of confluence right there. It's probably going to have a good degree of edge. And that's what we see here, right? I mean, it immediately plays out. Distribution very quickly, and then the low time frame shift around, right? And these lows get taken out. And when this happens, especially in the context of what's going on in the higher time frame, that's a good area to be managing risk on any longs or playing the extension, flipping short, because that's when price is going to look for liquidity to the downside. Now let's go back to the daily chart, see if we can see more of this pattern. Okay, yeah, you see that pattern here as well. So whether it's a run above these highs or the close above these highs. So anytime you have a extremely volatile move like this, right? This is some of the biggest volatility I've ever seen in Bitcoin, right? It basically declined by 50% in a period of like less than 2 weeks, which is crazy. I don't think that's ever happened before. Maybe it has, but if it has, it's been so long ago I wasn't in the market. So yeah, anyway, anytime you see massive volatility like this, you always want to fade the first pass, right? The first liquidity run on that given time frame is always meant to be faded. And you see that right here, right? So let's go down to the hourly chart. Again, kind of takes a little bit of time to get over there, but we can see that here. So yeah, so this is where, technically you have a higher high on the daily, but within the context of the massive volatility and the momentum here, right, that when you run above these highs, that's going to be a big sell, right? And price is going to enter a distribution pattern. And generally that's what it did here, right? You have your 3 drives distribution, right? 1 drive up, well, multiple drives into the level, 1 final throw over. Again, tying back into what we were talking about before, when you have the level on the left side of your chart lining up with the level on your right side of your chart in a liquidity run, that's some very, very, very confluent stuff. Really want to trade into that. Again, looking for liquidity to be filled in lower, especially with the impulsive nature of this move up. Anyway, hope you guys like this video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and catch you guys in the next one.